And hello, everybody. And we are back with more Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Where we last
You would
left
think
off, the party managed to fix Sebastian after a long, grueling, and exhausting surgery with the help of some local townsfolk, and have made their way back to the inn for the evening. Is there anything you guys would like to do before going to bed?
Drink and be merry.
We should talk. We should mention something.
What did we?
The kobolds in the green mines nearby.
Yes.
In the gem mine.
Yes. As... Oh, go ahead.
I may or may not have need of such materials in some of my spells. So I do believe that may be in our interest to accomplish at some point. I do not, however, want to slow us down from engaging our main task.
I don't know why the main task is still to take down the cult that plans
Well, the main task is to take down the cult, and the current the sub quest is essentially to kill the beast and claim we got a magical gem from the beast. I think that maybe getting a gem from the mine as well would allow us to have something to produce that would appear at a quick glance to be magic.
Were we planning on claiming that the gem came from the beast, or that we defeated the beast?
So, like, here's the theory: if we have a gem that we acquire that no one knows we've acquired, then we kill the beast, we can claim that's where we acquired the gem, and then we would have an actual object that people would have seen. And we may be able to find something close enough that at a glance people would spread the rumor that we found a powerful magical gem inside of the creature.
But a minor pausing real quick. I'm going to restart the stream because my bitrate is tanking.
Rip the bitrate.
Oh yeah, no, it is buffering.
Well, it's currently showing 0.
Yeah, no, I'm just on a buffer screen. Oh, now it's back. But it's not on the main screen. It's on.
I mean, I do have a gem because I have chromatic orb, don't I? I thought I had chromatic orb.
You may have orb
Yes,
through
I
your
do.
wand.
I have chromatic orb. And it requires a diamond worth at least 50 gold. I have the diamond already, but
Oh yeah,
we could. But also, like, getting a gem, that was what I was planning on passing off. But if we find like a cool, like, uncut gem in the mines while we're killing kobolds, that might be that might be better for this, because then it's not cut already, and it's like some weird magical energy crystal that the thing ate. Does that make sense?
You guys keep talking because the recording is still going. I'm just fighting with Twitch.
I do not have locate object though. I do have to detect magic, which could be useful in finding an actual magical gem. Falk, what do you think of this plan?
Or we just enchant the gem so people think it's magical.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
If they
sure I
test
could
it, it'll
figure
still
that
show
out.
it's magical.
I'm sure I could figure that out.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. I am hoping.
I was trying to see if I had anything that
Celesta
would
has
enhance
read an enchanting book somewhere along the way, and she may not be proficient in it, but she can figure it out.
Wait. could be an improvised weapon, yes?
What?
Because I have magic weapon.
What are you asking could be
That
an
would make
improvised
it-
weapon?
A gem.
I mean, theoretically, yes. Any object
Magic
that
weapon.
you use as a weapon is an improvised weapon.
Yep.
And then you just.
Because
stand
magic
it
weapon says
based
up to
on
1
what you
hour
think
you
it
touch
would
a
do.
non-magical weapon, and until spell ends, that weapon becomes a magic weapon. So I could make it magic. I can make the gem magic with magic weapon. Yes?
Yeah.
There we go.
So you would use the magical gem you got from the thing as a magic weapon to prove to people that it's magical.
Yes.
Kind of like it. But theoretically, I could probably enchant it in some way to do something.
So
So
that
it's
way,
also
when
a
people say
magical
put,
item.
if someone says does detect magic on it, then they'll see that it is in fact magic.
If we get a diamond,
Not
I
be
could,
lying.
I could use it to hold chromatic orb, and that would look magic. But if someone identifies it, well, it's game over. Because they'll know what it is if they use the identify spell.
True.
Well, we didn't say what kind of magic it was.
So we could.
The gem.
I
It
mean,
has magic.
Yeah, but we want them to think that it's a specific ore. Remind me of the name, Helly.
I'm gonna say
Chandelier.
Crap. Chandelier ore. We want them to think it's it's chandelier, which is a very specific thing that an identify spell would do. So we just don't want anyone to identify it. So we want to figure out a way to make it magic from a distance, where people might think that's what it is.
Just gotta dunk it in glitter. That'll make it look pretty magical.
I mean, I could draw some fancy letters on it, but it's supposed to be natural magic, so we need to find a way to make it glow. Wait. Kelly,
I mean, there's a.
Yes.
would I be able to cast continual flame on a gem to make it constantly glow, right?
Yeah, because you
It
put
looks
it in
it's
like the
on
middle
fire,
of the gem.
right?
It,
Put it in the middle of the gem.
well, it's an area that you touch, so it would be the surface of it.
So the whole thing looks like it's on fire at any given time, and it gives off torch brightness, right?
I believe with continual flame, you can customize how it looks.
It says it looks like a regular flame, but creates no heat and doesn't use oxygen, and it can be covered or hidden, but not smothered or quenched. Equivalent brightness to torch. I assume that however much you want to allow me to customize it, I could. Maybe make it an Arcana check to customize
Yeah.
it.
I'll make it an Arcana check if you want to change the color of it.
I also have Gift of the Chromatic Dragon, and I have Spell Sculpt, which doesn't do the same thing, but I imagine it's like some skill in sculpting and changing spells a little bit. Because it's for my Evocation Fire spell specifically is what I use it most, so I'm like a little justification, like if I could make like an Arcana check to make it look however you want. I would.
Well, when we get to that point, we can try some Arcana rolls.
Okay. All right. I like where I'm going. So do we? How fast do you think we could clear out a bunch of kobolds?
Depends on how big the kobolds are. They're small enough, probably 5 minutes. A little bit bigger, maybe 10.
Ellie, what does Celesta know about kobolds?
Roll me nature,
Wouldn't that be like history?
history or nature.
Nature or history would probably be good. I'm gonna go with history since I'm better at it.
You got 10. They're like tiny dragons.
Like I know
I'm
they're
gonna do a
like
nature
small
check.
creatures that are kind of like they're like small dragon born without the fire breath. Essentially, is all I know.
Yeah.
Can I check?
Sure. I don't know what information you're looking for kobolds.
I just want to know how easy it is, how likely it is that we can handle a group of kobolds in a gem mine.
Well, one, you haven't been in this mine, so you don't know what the mine looks like. You don't know how many
That's
kobolds
true.
there are.
How many kobolds do I think I could reasonably take in a fight?
I did get an 18.
Right, you got a 5, Valk.
You got a 5.
Nope.
I'm the one who got the 18.
I don't know how to read. Ignore me.
You're fine.
You've never heard of a kobold before.
The fuck's a
I-
kobold?
Which
I
actually-
want to know what Nan taught us about kobolds. I want to know what Nan taught us about kobolds.
And Goblin Slayer had very interesting opinions on kobolds.
Nan
Daily
told
Dragon
you
Secret.
that if you give a kobold a cookie, it will follow you until the end of your life. Or the end of it.
Don't give kobold cookies.
Why don't you give kobolds
You will not
cookies?
get rid of them. You will not get rid of them.
But, okay.
It's like feeding stray cats.
My son's
Straight
favorite
up.
song is Three Kobolds in a Trench Coat.
Oh, that's a good song.
It's an action. It is. It is my
It's a good
son's
song.
favorite too. It's
Three
hilarious to watch
Trench
him
Coat,
dance
you
to it.
Kobolds in a Trench Coat is an amazing song.
That is so cute.
Go find it, viewers. You'll go watch it.
It's so good.
So good. So realistically, we know now that if you feed a kobold, it'll follow us to the ends of the earth.
Yes.
Are they useful enough to be minions? Or will they just get underfoot? I feel like they'll just get underfoot.
They get underfoot. They have sticky fingers, so they'll probably nick your stuff. And you have to feed them. Like you
Well,
can't
well,
do
that's the
that.
worst.
Like, a child. Yeah.
Celeste,
If you
kind of
accidentally
points-
adopt a kobold, you have to feed them.
Celeste points
You
to a
can't just
cauldron
not.
that makes infinite soup.
And as that, Sally is over like, oh yeah, I forgot you had to feed the people.
We have infinite soup. Well, it's not infinite, but it's 10 gallons of soup. Realistically, how many kobolds?
So do we just want to feed the cold boiled
feed?
soup and raise a cold boiled army?
I mean, a cult of kobolds would be quite effective, I assume, against at least something. At least we'd have more numbers.
I mean, I'm
It could be a
kind of
great
down for it.
distraction.
I feel like this is just going to be chaos.
I feel like this is a bad idea, but I kind of am interested in the novelty.
I mean, wouldn't that be such a glorious thing, though? To be the leader of an army of kobolds?
I don't know if
I
it's
think
going to be an
that'd be
army, but
glorious.
it'll at least be enough to take over a small mine. So, I mean, they could be
And-
used as diversionary force.
Are we sure glorious is the right term? I was thinking more understaffed, underpaid daycare.
Well, I'm
Now
thinking
that you
from
mention
Nessa's
it-
point of view, and Nessa specifically thinking of for the Oath of Glory.
So,
Having an
Celeste has
army of
been doing
kobolds
the math.
sounds pretty glorious.
As soon as you say,
Doing the
as soon
math.
as you just say daycare, Celeste, an image pops into Celeste's mind of like being in a room full of children all screaming, and she goes, "I say we kill them all."
Oh, so you don't want kids?
Not an army of them.
Fair point.
Also, they're not my species, and I'm not as interested.
We still don't know what you are, though. You said you were pretty sure you were human. We still don't know.
I'm pretty sure I'm human. I feel human. I think.
Pretty sure is not absolutely sure, though. I am absolutely 100% positive I am human. I have 2 human parents.
I am.
My mother recounts the day she pushed me out of her very
78.5%
vividly.
sure. I am 78.5% sure that I am human. That's good enough for me.
Regardless of your species, I love you all. So.
So the question is, do we want to take care of the kobolds before we leave, or do we want to leave for the thing and come back and take the kobolds, or do we want to ignore the kobolds? I say we take them out as quickly as we can, and then go to the fight. Because if we do make them our minions, we'll have something to throw at the fight.
And also at the same
Expendable
time, we
swords.
probably want the gem before we go take on the so we can then present it after we defeat Moose.
Exactly. Because then we can keep it hidden until we kill the moose, and then we can present it as something we found from the
I'm
moose.
excited about the moose. I wanna fight the moose. How much longer till I get to that? Take his antlers. Look like Talia.
Is Shuckle going through doors? Shuckle going through doors?
I feel like I should be insulted that you think you could just take antlers for someone to have ones like mine.
Yours are more impressive. I will agree. I just admire
mine
you
will-
and would like to be more like you because you're admirable.
And mine will be continue to be more impressive than any wild animal could ever hope to achieve.
Honestly, I've never quite seen antlers like yours, and I've seen a lot of antlers. I like yours the most.
Thank you. I like my
They're
antlers.
gorgeous.
I like my horns too. They're good
Like
for
me.
defending yourself. I did get
I got a
stuck in
sword
a
for that.
tree once.
Oh,
Oh.
Yes.
No,
I-
story I'd like to hear at some point.
I was young. I was probably only 20 or so, and it was my. Well, yeah, I'm still a child. It was my first hunting trip on my own.
I forget
Uh,
how quickly humans age. and
Well, you don't live for very long.
I suppose so.
It throws me out
And-
all the frickin' time. 'Cause, like, at the age of 20, I was already inscripted into the militia in my town, so.
At the age
Hey,
of
I
20,
think-
I was nearly through wizard's college.
And I was going on my first solo hunt. And I couldn't sleep on the ground. I can't remember why. I believe I didn't want what I was tracking, which happened to be a boar at the time. And if you know anything about boars, they're not great to track in the woods.
Mean
was-
motherfucker.
I was tracking a boar at the time, but it was gotten real late. And I didn't want to sleep on the ground because I didn't want it to catch sight, smell of me, and nor did I feel like being gorged. So I decided to climb a tree and sleep in a tree. And well, now I can do that just fine. I know exactly where my antlers are, I know exactly where my horns are, and I mean, at this point, I'm not going to. My antlers are far too big. I leave climbing trees till after they've already molted. Fallen off? What is the term for when you lose your antler? Is it molted? I feel like it's molted, but I also feel like that's raw. Is it shed? That's
Oh, yeah,
weird.
no, because people go shed. Yeah.
Maybe, because molted it's whatever.
Shedding.
Anyway.
It's called shedding, yeah. Because it's seasonal.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
in the
that
late
makes-
winter or early spring, they drop their antlers.
That makes
my
sense.
previous.
So I climbed this tree, and unfortunately, I didn't realize that by the time I got to stable area where I could tie off for a kip for the night, the branches were a little stuck together, and the twigs and everything had kind of twisted and twirled around my horns and antlers throughout the night as I kind of moved. I had to use my emergency signal for my mother to come get me.
How unfortunate. That reminds
She
me
said-
of the first time I crafted a spell.
She sent my older brother.
Oh dear. I have no idea how that works in a family, but oh dear.
Well, luckily, at
I
the
mean,
time,
neither do I.
It was early spring, so I was like in the process. I was going to be shedding them soon. They were all dried out anyways. And so they just hadn't fallen yet. There was still some sinew left, not much. So my brother climbed up the tree and cut my antlers off. It took about 2 seasons for all of the scarring to clear up that I could start growing them, and I couldn't grow more than a single branch for about 10 years. After that, it did some minor scarring. That just took some time to heal before the follicles in that area could grow again. So please don't cut my horns.
Yes.
I am very lucky at that point in time. Part of how antlers fall off is the drying process that we go through at the end of the winter season, and I don't know what's going to happen again this year because I have been having these for. I have not lost my antlers since this never-ending winter began, and
Maybe
it's
we should head south.
well.
We should be able to handle this, but also then head south where it'll warm up and maybe.
Well, when the weather warms up, that allows the blood vessels, and it triggers the blood vessels and all the nerve endings to start drying out. And we've never gotten warm enough since then for that to trigger. That's how I've gotten them as big as I have. They don't usually grow this big.
Sad when you said them. That's gonna be so sad.
Fascinating. I wonder if other animals are having that same problem.
I don't know.
Oh, this moose may have incredible antlers.
Yes. I will be taking them.
Excited.
I will be
Slay the
taking
moose.
them.
Slay the moose. Slay
We
the moose.
haven't gone to bed yet, have we?
Nope.
No, we
No.
have not.
We've been staying up late swapping stories.
We're literally sitting on the bed in the room, being like, "Yeah, no, dude, moose."
Okay,
Moose,
Malik, let's
am
be
I right?
honest. How often do you actually manage to get Dahlia to tell you about her home
Never, ever.
and growing
Never.
up?
That's why we were. That's why we were excited about it. And it was like, yes.
She's really done wonders getting over her stutter.
No
Yes.
stutter when she's around us. She's friendly.
It's girls'
She's very
night.
at ease
We're
around us.
having
It
girls'
is
night.
We're
Sebastian,
friends.
You guys
sit
are
in
not
the
putting
corner.
me in a dress, and you're not making me wear nail polish.
You guys
No.
have legitimately saved her life multiple times. She trusts you. You are now the family. It's when we bring other people in that she'll stop talking again.
I love the idea that Sebastian is literally sitting in the corner during girls' night watching the door.
Well, no, he's still in his
I-
concussed state.
Oh, he's still concussed, so he's still laying on the bed.
Oh.
Like he's
Well,
awake, but
well-
he's in that dazed, like 1,000-yard stare state.
What if instead your father is was kind of checking up?
He's seeing
And
static
Peter
right now.
said
It's
his
like
girls'
Buzzy.
night can kind of understand the conversation, so it's interested enough to like stay and try to figure out what's going on. But he has to deal with like seeing out of Sebastian right now.
Yeah. I like to imagine it's like there's this ringing in the audio in his ears, and it's like kind of like everything's like got this wobbly vibe to it, and like
Everything
the
is
focus
blurry.
coming in
Everything
and
is
out.
everything is like echoed out.
Yeah.
And he like misses like the half of every third word, but like
Yeah.
he can still hear enough to like figure out what's going on.
And sometimes the sound sounds like it's coming through like water, like it's all muffled through water every so often, and that also makes it harder to hear. So he's not gonna know what's going on here.
Okay, is there any plans for him to show back up, Kelly? Because I feel like this would be the moment.
I mean, there may be plans in the future, but now is not the time.
He's
Not
leaving
now.
me be. He's got other stuff to do. He's a busy
I'll be like, I'll check on her later. That might be concerning. And ADHD forgets about it because he didn't put it in his notebook.
Hey, once something were to happen, Sebastian will let him know.
Sebastian hasn't told him, given him an alert status. Sebastian is giving him all green, and even though the visual's all fucked up, he's like, I can fix that later. Sebastian knows what he's about.
The alarm hasn't gone off. Sebastian has done his job and taken the brunt, so that way Celesta doesn't.
Yes.
That's
That
as far
is
as he
true,
knows.
actually.
That's as
That
far
is
as he knows what
very
happened.
true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And I'm the one that
We just
hit
don't
him,
tell
so
him that
his
Celeste is
whole
the one who hit
shtick
him.
is- Yeah, his whole shtick is, she hit me, but she got the target. I'm fine.
Okay, but let's be fair. Would Celeste's father really care
No.
that she hit Sebastian as long as she got out safe?
Yeah, no.
No,
he
that's the
doesn't- he
point of
wouldn't care.
Sebastian.
That's
No,
why
it's
Sebastian doesn't
it's
care.
Nessa. It's Nessa that's actually concerned about Sebastian because he's a little mascot.
Yeah, he's
He's
just
a
laying
little
there,
guy.
wobbling his head every so often, just kind of like he's like laying with his like hands like laced together on his
I
like
just-
sternum, and he's just laying there staring at the ceiling, 1,000-yard stare.
Yep.
Not entirely sure she understands what Sebastian is. She just kind of thinks of him like mushroom or fungus.
He
So
might
she
be, for
figures
all I
he's
know.
okay.
I don't
So
know
she
what
figures
made
he's
of.
okay.
Actually, no, I do know what he's made of: flesh and bone, and silver thread for all his entire nervous
Okay.
system.
But like, let's be honest, fungus is closer to like animals than it is to plants.
I bet we
True.
could fix him with the right mushrooms.
Or at least give him a really entertaining time while he heals.
I did not get the chance to install a potion injection port. Note to
We
self.
Can you
hit
do
the
that?
mouse.
Theoretically, yes. His blood is running through small tubes like blood vessels, but it's entirely magical in nature. So theoretically, I could make a port to his outer skin that we can inject potions into. Theoretically.
The thought that Daly just had about a port we can inject potions into. Bad thoughts, Daly. Bad thoughts.
And then I could just get a proper syringe and use that for the injections and just have it so we just plug it into the port. But we'd need to find an artificer to help us with that. We need someone who's capable of machining the exact parts we need, and I don't have what I need. My father usually
I don't think Nessa
outsources
knows
the
any
machining
artificers.
tasks.
No, any
Or, you
artificers?
know, if Sebastian dies, we could ask for some upgrades on the new model.
I'm fair.
I don't want
So-
Sebastian to die. He's our
Is
little
Sebastian-
buddy.
So, Celeste, I had a question about Sebastian actually.
I may or may not have an answer.
Is
although I have
Sebastian
learned
like.
an immense amount about him.
Is he like a mushroom or is he more like a tree?
He is more like a golem.
What's that?
So a golem is a creature that is created using magic and then propelled using magic. Essentially, how you create a golem is you create a golem core first. The golem core is where all of the thoughts and processes happen to run the golem. It's mostly like very advanced mathematics, essentially. And you create a logic that you put into this core. Then you place the core somewhere in the body that you wish for it to control. And the core also is imbued with a large amount of magic that keeps it sustained, as well as enchantments that draw magic from the ley lines nearby to keep him sustained as well. Then you have used silver wires throughout whatever you're using as a body. In my father's case, he used actual flesh and blood, modified, I'm sure, using magic, to create a very effective force. It's a possibility that Sebastian here is
Where he
clone of
got
some
flesh
sort?
and blood.
Probably clone, a magically created clone, not of my father, possibly one of his colleagues or friends that donated some samples to him. But my father mostly works in clone craft when it comes to his golems. So ostensibly, Frederick is mostly human. I'm not sure on the
Sebastian,
decision to
not Frederick.
Sebastian. I've been working on my computer, Frederick, a little bit, and talking about him a lot. So forgive me. So Sebastian's possibly just human by volume.
By him.
And there's some design choices I'm not sure about, but my father usually has a reason. It's probably to prevent him from being poisoned, actually, now that I think about it.
So why would you, if you're going to build a creature, why would you choose one of the weakest races there are?
I do not know. I believe it's because human biology is very versatile. I know he's created golems out of other creatures as well. I think we had a centaur golem at one point. I do remember a few elven golems, but no, Frederick is human-ish.
Wonder if it's because there's so many humans.
It's maybe simply volume of materials, knowing my father. People donate their bodies to magical research all the time.
Really? Why?
They believe that it will make a positive influence on the world, and it really has. It also improves medical research as well. There's been a great deal of progress in that, especially in human anatomies, because of that. Maybe that's part of it, because humans seem to more often donate their bodies to scientific research.
Well, I mean, we have tradition. I will follow my people's tradition when I pass. Oh, I should tell you that in case I die with you people, shouldn't I?
Yes.
I would love to hear learn your traditions to make sure you get a proper burial.
We bury our people around the root ball of a sapling tree. I would like an aspen, if possible, but any tree works. And we make sure to clear their body of anything that doesn't belong in nature. So any artificial clothing, weapons, magics, and things that can soak into the soil. And we allow the forest and the trees to reclaim the body. I was taught that as the tree uses your body to nurture itself, it will draw in who you were and your memories and your body and your very own self and soul into it. So you live forever through the forest. And so as long as the forest stands, you never die.
So hard.
Fascinating. As Celeste pulls her notebook out and starts writing down what she just heard.
And that is why when we met, I was clearing and checking those graves for any artificial items and making sure that they were buried properly, that the plants were going to be okay with them there.
Theoretically, actually. May I, at some point, visit the grave forest?
Celeste! What do you think we've been traveling through?
These forests are I need to take a better look at the trees.
This forest that I've lived my whole life in? I told you I'm from here.
Thousands of trees.
Oh, far many than that.
Generations.
Far more many of that. And it's not just our people who get buried like this. Anyone who dies in the trees. As long as the roots can reach the bodies, or that the body's nutrients can reach the trees, they will live on through the trees. It is not just us.
That is so metal.
I have so many theories to test.
And I know at least on this continent, I'm not entirely sure that there's anywhere on this continent that a tree is not connected to another tree.
That is
Unless there's some great plains that I've never seen.
There are other planes, actually. Though the Feywild is connected to this realm, there are other positive planes with great amount of trees that are not connected directly to this realm. So there's a possibility they may not be connected to the same network. But theoretically, you should. Is this where druids pull their magic from?
I would assume. But this is the faith that's been taught to me since I was a child.
Druidic magic through natural ley lines that are not the same as the mana ley lines beneath the crust. I'm going to do some writing. I will be back. And Celeste's gonna go down and have some tea and start writing some theories.
Are you going to get any sleep tonight?
No, probably not now.
Well, remember, I do want to remind you that
I have
because
levels
of
exhaustion,
yes, from your exasperating surgery.
I will probably pass out wherever I am with my cup of tea that I have drank maybe 3 sips of, and a book with now like pages of extra notes.
I would imagine Nessa actually didn't go to sleep until she knew Celesta was coming to bed. At the moment that she found Celesta passed out at the bar, she picked her up, princess style, and carried her back to the room.
Well, you know what, X, roll me a d6.
A D6.
Yes. Okay, congratulations, you get an hour of sleep. Because you stay up until 5 in the morning and then get woken up at 6 by the rumor man.
Does Nessa come down and get me before 5 in the morning? Like, how late does Nessa wait to come and get me?
Or wait, Nessa, roll the same thing. When do you fall asleep?
D6, you said?
Yep, 1d6.
How late do they keep the bar open here? Is it a 24/7 bar?
Yeah.
If you're
You might
there.
have just been sitting at the bar. They may not have been serving alcohol, but you were at least sitting at the bar.
They just
Yeah,
left you a
but-
pitcher of tea. Just like, here you go.
Yeah, Nessa fell asleep first. She got 2 hours of sleep.
I
Nope. I'll
So-
have that
do
right.
I find Celesta in there. I fall asleep waiting for Celesta. I'm like literally sitting in bed, kind of like polishing my sword, waiting for Celesta to come back. Glance over Sebastian. Sebastian seems okay. Glance at the door. Celesta's still not back. Go back to cleaning my sword, and then I fall asleep cleaning my sword.
So, neither one
So
of
I'm like
you
not
two
even like,
get a long rest.
That's brutal.
damn. At least we got a long rest before. I still have all my spell slots. We hadn't used
Well,
any
no,
spells
you
last
used-
time.
You used some spells at the medical.
Oh, yeah, no, I used one. I used one spell.
Didn't you also use some lay on hands?
You did.
I used a little bit of lay on hands, but I still have 30 left.
Well,
Lay on hands is a long rest, right? A full long rest.
I believe so. Replenishes when you take a long rest.
I still have 30 lay on hands, and I still have most of my spells left. Fine.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
I'll take that level of exhaustion. So I'm
Yep.
at 2, right?
Oh no, you got the hour of sleep. So you're at 1 level. You didn't remove your layer of exhaustion.
Okay, so I didn't remove it, but I didn't get another one.
If you stayed up, if you rolled a 6, you would have gotten another level. You got that 1 hour of sleep, and you are pissed as hell.
I'm probably not mad. I'm just done with the world.
You're like, fuck.
Yeah, this is me waking up and going, oh, fuck, why did I do this to myself?
And as the party wakes up,
I'm not gonna remember the rumor.
there's a rumor of an old cabin outside of Bryn Strider. There's a gnome named Copper who says it's used for magical experiments. Find him at the House of Morning Lord.
House of Morning
You said Bryn Shander?
Yep.
Bryn
Lord. The only
Shander,
thing
something
that
about
I
a
can
what?
remember is House of Morning Lord.
An old cabin used for magical experiments.
And something about Morning Lord.
House of the Morning Lord.
Why does that sound like it's the house of fucking Apollo?
Oh.
It sounds scary. Let's not get involved. We wake up and Celeste is in the perfect
Morning
mood
Lord
to
sounds like
follow
the exact-
protocols.
Well, do you want
Like,
to?
the Morning Lord sounds like the exact opposite of the cult that we're going against.
Do you want to go roll for disadvantage X to see if you remember anything of the House of Morning Lord?
I would only remember the words House of Morning Lord because someone said magic experiments. My brain went house. What's the place? House
Well,
of
say-
Morning Lord.
Well,
Got
say,
it.
do you want to roll history to see if you know anything of that house since you've been in this area?
Right now?
If you want,
Sure.
I only get-
Did it roll with disadvantage?
no.
Let's roll it again. 18.
Okay, at 18, that would certainly be a pass. I need to quickly pull back up information about that house. So give me just a moment.
Even in my exhausted state, my brain goes, I know about this.
It is a gathering place for the worshippers of Amanitor. I'll throw that in the chat because I'm likely butchering the pronunciation of it because the names in D&D are names.
Oh, a monitor.
Yes, a monitor. So that's what
What
you're
does he
remembering.
monitor? Does he monitor halls or?
A monitor is a god of order, correct, Telly?
I don't know if they're of order. I know what their religious
What is-
symbol says.
What is their historical, like, I would know them historically, so what kind of historical data would you know about them?
They
Like,
Out
what would
of-
history say they're about?
well, the god of the sun.
Okay, god of the sun.
Almost.
Oh, I know exactly where we're going after we kill this moose. That Celesta, like, crumbles out of bed and pokes Nessa.
Well, no, you're still sleeping at the bar.
Oh, the bar
Yeah,
guy didn't,
no.
like, have anyone come get me? No, I
No,
am at the bar, okay.
you passed
The
out there
bar-
with a picture
The
of tea next
barkeep
to you.
went to bed before you went to sleep.
Yeah. There's a pitcher of cold, now very cold tea right in front of me, right?
It's a room temperature. It's just
Okay, and I have already paid for it.
yeah. We'll call it 3 copper.
Okay, I'm gonna toss the 3 copper in, and I am going to just reach just over the bar and grab one of the glasses behind it, pour the tea into the glass, and start chugging.
Well, I think you still have your glass from the night before.
It's a teacup. What I have is a teacup. What I need is a pint glass.
Fair enough.
And I am just going to just swirl it, pour it, chug it, swirl it, pour it, chug it until the whole thing's done. Go upstairs. I assume when I get upstairs, everyone else is already awake.
I would assume so.
Yep.
I
This
open
is
the
just
door.
putting on her
Close
armor.
it behind me. I fell asleep at the bar last night.
Yeah. Waited most of the night for you.
Alright, fantastic. I'm glad I'm not the only irresponsible one here. Talia, did you get some sleep?
Why would I have struggled to sleep last night?
Fantastic. At least one of us is well slept. Well rested.
Did you struggle to
there's
sleep?
And there's Sebastian looking up at the ceiling.
Sebastian doesn't sleep.
So,
but is his concussion gone now?
Talia's
It's been, like, a
driving
full,
the
like,
cart
48 hours.
Today.
I'd give it another 12 hours until he's.
Okay. He's still. I look at Sebastian. Yes, he's a little concussed.
Like he can walk around a little bit. He's just if he fights, he's gonna be at disadvantage.
Got it.
Well, do we want to take today to get some stuff done here in town and let you guys kind of take it a little easy for the day? Instead of
Wait, so do we each have a level of exhaustion then? Is that right?
No,
you two do, I do not.
Oh.
no. The only reason X has exhaustion was because that was part of his payment for the surgery. Is that it was exhausting to him, and he didn't get a long rest to remove it.
Daly is not exhausted. She's probably just grumpy.
Tired. Not necessarily grumpy though.
Hey, Hallie,
Yeah.
check your stream.
Oh, it's been fighting me all day.
Yeah, it just ended.
Well, it disconnected on its own, so I stopped it and manually restarted it with a delay to see if that will help. It's still pitching a fit. But we're just gonna keep going like nothing's happening.
No, like it just kicked me out, so
Like,
I wasn't sure if you were away. It was off again.
Yep, I've got it up on another screen. I've been watching it because it's been upsetty spaghetti today.
Alright.
What do we need to do in town instead? Or what can we do in town that would be useful to us?
Do we want to... Do we want to go look at supplies? See if we need to pick up any extra supplies.
We could see if they have anything I would need to enchant something. They may have gem dust, which I believe is what I need to enchant. Enchant it with infinite flame. Does that make sense? We can
Yes.
find stuff for the enchantment.
Yeah.
See if there's anything else that would be useful to us. Maybe some healing potions. We can see if we can find any of those around.
Oh, yes, that would be good, because I just gave all mine away. No, yeah, that works for me. Does that work for you, Nessa?
Oh, we should also ask some questions about the kobolds. See if we can get an idea of their numbers and what the minds are like.
Yes, that would probably be good. I have a feeling that kobolds are. Have you ever tried to? Have you ever tried to fight a hive of hornets?
Fireball works very well on a hive of hornets, so I've never really had to fight one.
Okay, so it's the thought process of like, if you get attacked by one hornet, or even 2 or 3, it's not that big of a deal. You can get rid of it. Or like, have you ever seen a hive of hornets go after another animal? It happens all the time in the woods, because hornets are nasty creatures. Yes. So like if you go after, if only one, like a couple go after whatever the creature is, or you yourself will be fine. But if the whole swarm comes and attacks, it's a
Then they're all
problem.
bunched in one place, and I can blow them away instantly. I like this plan.
Do you have a fireball big enough for all of them? And also remember, I would hope these semi-sentient creatures are at least more intelligent than a bee.
I do have a storm sphere that could cause an immense amount of problem to an immense amount of creatures. I also have
True.
Wall of Fire, which could encircle them and cause them problems.
Celeste,
Yes.
we've been through a lot together, haven't we?
Yes.
Real good friends now, right? I can talk to you honestly, right?
Yes. I should think so.
I am very annoyed at you right now.
My apologies.
I have been studying my whole life on area effect spells, and I have never heard of those spells. And I have noticed you have more area effect spells than I do. I am. How old am I? I am 50 years old, Celeste. What spells are those?
Alright. Storm Sphere. You conjure the elemental energies of storm from the water planes, and you literally carve them into a sphere. And in this sphere is ripping winds and... Whoops, I did not mean to do that. It's a sphere about 20-foot radius of just swirling air. Actually, it might be from the elemental plane of air. 1 second, let me check my notes. As she opens up her spell book and starts rifling through until she gets to the storm sphere, she's like, oh, here it is. 20-foot swirling radius, swirling air, thunderbolts. You can then cast the magic out a little bit further and in bolts of set electricity, up to about 60-ish feet. Most measurements reach about 60 feet on this case. It's a very useful, fascinating elemental spell.
Fascinating. And you said it was from the elemental plane. That would make sense. I can't think of anywhere that would have enough open space to develop wind speeds like that. Never anywhere I've been anyway.
I believe it's literally. I think it literally pulls energy from the barrier between the plane of air and the material plane, and by pulling that energy through, you can concentrate it enough to create a sphere of that elemental energy in a storm sphere. It's very cool. Let me show you the calculations here. And I turn the book around and I start pointing, and you see a page of arcane glyphs and arcane mathematics.
Okay.
It's looking at like astrophysics here.
Okay, so Sally is not stupid.
No.
She is not. She is not like academically trained. How much of this does she understand, Helly?
I'd say roll Arcana with disadvantage. Hey, give me one more roll here for that disadvantage.
1 second. My giving me issues. Said Arcana.
Okay, yeah, you got a 9, so you're kind of getting it.
You're picking up the general. You're like, I'm pointing to a thing that makes no sense to you, and I say, this is where we calculate the velocity of the elemental energies and their directions and vectors. And you're like, I understand some of those words individually, but it makes sense because it's like it's directing the energy. Got it.
So, so it's our two different types of intelligence is evening out. I understand the physical part of it. You are directing energy. I understand that. You have the words and the education. I don't have the whole picture, but I don't have the actual mathematics. I have the umbrella
intuition of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to spend the next 15 minutes showing her the different parts of the spell and trying to explain it as best as I can, and it is going to sound kind of like a college lecture.
And at one point, Thalia is going to reach into her bag and grab, I think I have a notebook in my bag. Do I?
I'd say it's probably part of your explorer's equipment.
Yeah, journaling for explorers.
For charting maps and taking notes on locations and stuff. It'd be very useful afterwards.
Yeah, I'll put at some point. Thalia will pull out her journal and she'll start taking notes. But if Celeste looks at her notes, it's mostly weird symbols and quick drawings. You can't actually read what she's writing. It doesn't make sense to you.
What language is it in?
It's not in a language.
Oh, so it's in your magic, how your magic works. So it's
kind of.
magic
So
kind of thing.
Kind of. So it's how Furbolg's magic works. Because we are not educated in schools. We are educated in our tribe. We are taught to write the way our magic writes, which is mostly think almost caveman drawing, but not.
It's caveman drawing with a touch of fae.
More, I'm imagining more like Celtic murals kind of vibe.
Yeah, I was thinking Celtic, caveman, you got that fae, but with the sophistication of Chinese calligraphy.
Okay, I get the vibe. I get the vibe of this. Very intentional strokes. Every stroke has meaning.
Yeah. And after Celeste kind of asks, she flips her notebook around and spends about 10 minutes kind of teaching her the flow. Because it's not read left to right like most languages, or even just up and down. It flows through the page, and as you kind of read this and as you start to kind of pay attention to the magic kind of channels that you can see, because I'm not using magic, but it is the language of magic, so you can see the channels of the magic, how it runs. You notice that goes back to that concept of the trees, and you can see the branches coming up to the middle, and that's how you read it. It's from the outsides coming into a branch.
Fascinating. I'm gonna I flip to an empty page in my book and I start kind of practicing tiny little bits of it, and I'm gonna be quiet for a while I look at the notebook, start doing little things, ask you a little question about, and this right here.
And it doesn't work.
This movement through the page here. I'm not trying to make the magic, I'm trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
I'm not casting magic. So I can't copy it. I can't
No, you can copy sections, but you can't even do a full phrase or even word, because that's not at some point, every time you go to draw a larger section, Like you can do like a small section, but every time you do like a larger full section, you notice that like it almost like your pen slips a little bit, so it's off.
Oh, and I'm using my magic pen, and so it's doing weird. It's probably part of that too. So I'm like, oh, no connection to me. This is very fascinating, and I'm gonna start scribbling little notes about the little exchange.
And Thalia is just gonna sit there very confused because I do not quite understand why you're fascinated. Thalia does not know anything about that. This language she's writing in is magic.
After a couple seconds, I'm gonna.
So she's just gonna stare at you, very confused.
My current hypothesis is that the language itself is magical in nature. So only those who can cast that magic can write in the language. Very interesting. You said your magic is originated from your culture, the Firbolgs.
Yeah. The way it was told to me is, there was a split at some point among the giants, and some went off into the Feywild and explored and stayed there, and slowly over time the Feywilds kind of changed them a little bit. And Firbolgs are from that branch. And then we came here and we lost that Feywildness of us, but we kind of kept some of it. Like, they came here from there, and that's when we kind of came to be as Firbolgs. So, and our magic has followed us since.
Some form of wild magic, that would make sense. Alright, thank you. This is enlightening.
I have no clue what the actual Firbolg story is. I just pulled that out of my head.
Actually, that is the lore of Firbolgs.
Really?
Yeah, there was a sect of giants that basically got ostracized to the Feywild, and they ended up in the Feywild, and they tried to conquer it for a while, and it didn't go very well, and they became Fey, and then the Firbolgs that end up in the material plane are Firbolgs that came back from the Fey and kind of just stayed around. So if you see a Firbolg tribe in the material plane, they're still closely, like most of them are connected to the Fey, but they kind of have naturalized to the material plane.
Straight up, because like when I made this character, I went, okay, I want at least like some background info about what the culture is. I was like, wait, I remember reading Connection to the Feywild and Cousins to Giants, because I thought those were like really cool pieces of information. I was like, okay, how do I connect that in a way that makes sense?
Yeah, and the
That's
Firbolgs
really cool that I got that right.
Firbolgs are basically giants, the kids of giants and Fey, a few generations, and then so they're kind of distantly related to giants and distantly related to Fey, and they're kind of Fey creatures, but not quite. It's really cool.
Which would make sense why her tribe writes in the language of her magic. Whether that's like, it's not even necessarily an actual language or anything. And like, Kelly, you would have to be the ruling factor on if it's even something where like two Firbolgs could write to each other like that, or if it's too personal to their own magic, or even their own branch of trees.
What class are you?
Valk is a sorter.
Yeah, I was like, sorcerer, I'm pretty sure.
I like the idea of the way that the Firbolgs got their magic was that it was a trick, and to an extent a trick by the Fae, so that their magic is personal to them and how they write it, and that's part of, the monkey's paw that comes with dealing with a fae.
Yeah, you can't copy
Yeah.
magic from others or give your magic to others. Necessarily. You can kind of teach it, but it's different. It's more
This might be my
it's intuitive
favorite
magic.
session of this camp. This might be my favorite session of this campaign. We had one of these last campaign too. The lore sessions are the best ones.
That is amazing. Yeah, I essentially Celesta is making theories about why the writing doesn't work. Like she can't even engage in the writing. Like there's some sort of magical block, and after a while she comes to the conclusion. Well, I'm going to just say it right now. Your people probably got some sort of wild magic that can't be replicated unless you have the correct prerequisite of some kind. Maybe
Are you
have to be
fae?
fearful. Possibly you have to be connected to a fae of some kind.
Well, we are fae, kind of.
I just picture that Nessa is just kind of sitting off to the side, just watching them with absolute amazement, just thinking to herself, fuck, I don't know shit about magic. Dionysus just says, hey, you can cast a spell. And I'm like, okay, I can cast a spell.
I don't know shit about magic. I just swing my sword.
Daily, I love the
I
idea
swing my
that
sword and it does
Nessa's magic,
raging damage.
Nessa's magic is literally she's told to say the name of the spell and it happens.
Because Dionysus.
It's like a monk not knowing what spell slots. What the fuck's a spell slot?
Dude, I trained forever to get energy out of my body. What the hell is a spell slot?
Okay, so funny enough, the audiobooks that I have been listening to lately are Lit TTRPGs, which are, as it sounds, TTRPGs in a book. And the way they get around explaining spell slots is it takes, a certain amount of power. So like in the book that I'm reading now, they can draw on mana from specific attunement sites in their bodies, and each one only has a limited number, but they never actually know how much that is. They just start to feel physical effects. So like the main character, his attunement is on his head, on his brain, and if he uses too much, he develops headaches. And
I think that would be
so
something
they
nice
don't
for a sorcerer, because they always cast upcast
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, that
Well,
fits
for
very
hi-
well with sorcerer, but for a wizard, no, that also makes sense because the spell slots are basically just different parts of your body that have different amounts of energy, and as you get more powerful, you find new ways to draw energy from yourself, and it's more.
So-
Basically mana.
in
Just mana,
the
which is like
book,
literally the natural living life force.
so in this series, if you pull too much mana, and it is actually called mana, from like one of your attunement sites, and you have you have your brain, your heart, your lungs, and your hand. Those are the four, and your legs. Those are the 5 attunement sites that you can have. If you pull too much from one, you damage yourself. So the main character,
So
Corey,
it's like mana burn.
his great-grandfather pulled too much of the mana from his mind and killed himself. He refuses to use his mind mana in the first book. So he pulls it through his hand, which he is not attuned in, so it's far more difficult. It takes far longer, and it killed his hand.
I think we're off topic.
Yeah,
We are, sorry.
I was about to say, I appreciate the story, but I'm going to try to reel us back in here a little bit. We
So,
have
so like what I was
tangented a
saying,
lot.
Yeah,
like when you use too much mana, it like physically harms you, and that's how like, or like you can feel you physically weakening. You're like, okay, I know I can do 1 push-up or 2 sit-ups. That's what I mean. Sorry.
I think we need to move plot for it, is what I'm seeing from Helly.
Yes.
I mean, if you guys want to keep
So
talking
basically, you
about
guys-
in-game things, that's fine. It's just we're now having a meta conversation, which I'm trying to avoid.
So at this point, Nessa's just getting bored. Nessa's almost fallen asleep listening to these two talk about magic. When she really falls asleep and she's slipping and she catches herself before her head hits the table, she just reaches over, gently taps on Celesta, and be like, "Hey, we should probably get a move on."
Celesta like stops, is like, "We can continue this later," and closes her notebook. I'm very interested on having this conversation over perhaps a warm cup of tea around a nice, I don't know, a fire pit in my wonderful little home.
I would love that, yes. And we'll be on the road. It's not like we can't talk whenever, Celeste.
Fantastic. Okay. We need to find out more about the kobolds and then engage the kobolds, probably. Maybe not attack them today, but we need to figure out who's in charge of taking out the kobolds. Like, because they're probably trying to come up with a plan anyways, so maybe we should help them with that plan.
Get our names out there too, which is kind of the goal.
Exactly.
That way the cult knows we're coming for them. Get them to come for us first. And corner them.
If we get a little bit of a reputation around here, and then come back with the magical gem, that'll spread a lot easier, yes.
Or we just find Rumor Man, but Rumor Man can start spreading rumors about us.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Although I'm pretty sure he'd pick up the rumor about us if it got to be juicy enough.
What
Daily
would we
was
have to
thinking
do
juicy
for it to
rumor,
be juicy enough
and
for,
Daily
for him to pick it up?
I'm not sure. It always usually is some sort of thing that would be useful to know for an adventurer, it seems.
That feels oddly specific.
The
It really does.
the urge in Daily right now to find some way to make that rumor. 2 lesbian adventurers offering services.
Okay, with that wording, what services?
Three lesbian adventurers offering services across the land.
Excuse me, I am not a lesbian.
Yeah, but that's not how it looks.
Rumor Man doesn't know. Polyfuel of lesbian adventurers helping out
Adventurer
wherever.
polyfuel. Nah, it'll probably just be group of adventurers that has done a series of things, gathered some interest in the valley.
Is Thalia the butch lesbian?
That's just Butch.
Oh, well,
Butch
could be
Mac put her in a
Nessa.
dress.
Celesta, no, you are the ethereal lesbian.
Yes.
Oh, I thought she was.
There's the butch lesbian, the ethereal lesbian, and then there's the girly firecracker.
Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
Yeah,
Manic
Manic
Pixie
Pixie
Dream
Dream Girl. Yeah, that's what Celesta kinda is. She's strange, she's excitable, she casts overpowered fire magic, and she's got a bit of a temper.
Yep, sounds like Manic Pixie Dream Girl. Alright, so we need to go ask around town about these kobolds.
Well,
Kobolds
let's just go
were
back
near
to the
criminally,
red
right?
tent. They might be able to tell us something. And we did help them out yesterday, and they did help us out yesterday, so we have a working relationship.
Let's head back to the tent. To the tent!
Okay.
Hello.
As you guys leave the tavern, you see a bundled up. You see 2 bundled up humanoids with one of them waving you over.
All right.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
This is already very interesting. Hello. As I'm gonna walk up to them. Hello. How may we help you?
Well, you all look like you're dressed for trouble. They just went and closed down our gem mine.
Huge kobold?
Fantastic, just the people that we were going to go see.
Oh? Gonna go help us remove those kobolds?
Certainly. Is there already a plan in action,
go.
or are we going to be supplementary, or are we going to be the main plan?
Well, right now we're looking for adventures, and you're the first ones we found. I'm sure other people are looking for others as well.
Oh, fantastic.
How many kobolds? Enough to form an army?
Let's go somewhere warm, possibly with a cup of tea, and talk this over.
Yes, absolutely. Well, my girlfriend.
Preferably with a map of the mines. As she
Ah.
looks pointedly at the man she's been talking to.
I don't really got a map of the mines here, but we can give you a generalized layout of it, and there's maybe about 5 to 10.
So, are you...
You've been in one mine. You've been in 1,000 mines. I have found the mines of Fandover. Sure, we can explore these mines.
All right, you're an expert at mines. If we could speak to someone who's been in the mines, I'm sure the expert of mines over here could help us formulate some sort of map. As for the rest, let's head in a direction where we can be of use.
Ellie, how much information did I actually retain from exploring the mines down over?
Give me history. We'll see how much you remember of these here mines. Okay. Hey. Of the mines of Vandover, you do remember quite a bit. You do remember that it was a 1.5 floor mine.
It was also a dwarven mine.
It was also a dwarven mine. This mine's a tri-level.
Okay, so
Okay.
so I'm gonna we should
Well-
ask this guy some questions and get some answers.
Can we at least, even if it's not like a labeled map, can we at least get one where it's like, okay, this is the entrance, this is the where you go to get,
About
this is
many
the path to
branches.
get. There's about this many branches. We don't know it's in the branches or it's at the end of the branches, but there's about this many.
Here,
If you go down this branch, it'll get you down to the next level, etc. Down to the third.
Like,
We don't know
I'm
what's in
imagining-
any branches though.
I'm imagining if we talk to enough of the miners, we can get enough. Like, if we can talk to just like a mine foreman or someone who knows the mines well, we can piece together a map of our own. It may not be,
Or at least
accurate,
the
but
rough
like-
idea of a map where the rough idea
Plus,
where
if we talk
of
to
a map.
foreman or someone who came from the mines, we could learn more about the kobolds. It seems like this guy doesn't. We need to ask this guy because he should know all this already.
Unless he's just a courier.
Give me just a second here, and I'm getting you a crude map for how these mines are laid out without any real labels other than floor numbers and where the X and Y will lead.
Yeah, that's
There's a general note.
Let's follow this man to whoever he is in charge and start asking questions.
is this guy just like a courier, Kelly?
Yeah,
Just sent to deliver a message.
kind of like a town crier, although he's just kind of moping about. Not really good at his job.
Can you please point us in the direction of someone who may have enough information for us to actually plan this, or more accurately, the man who's looking to hire us to clear out the mine?
I'm not sure if anyone's really looking to hire, but I'm sure if you get it cleared out, you can talk with the speaker. I'm sure he'll give you something for it.
Who owns the mine?
No one really owns the mines. They just kind of here and people work them.
No,
Where's a foreman we can talk to?
there has
Or
to be
someone who
someone.
can give us like a crude map?
Foreman didn't make it out from the kobolds.
Right.
Hmm.
Where is the
You think no
office
one owns the
building
mine
for
though?
the?
Like,
where are the
Where do
offices?
the mine?
Where's the town? Where are the town offices? I assume there's some sort of town building where people work that keep track of this sort of thing.
Town halls down the path that way, and he's gonna point towards this building.
And is there an office for the mine?
They're
To keep
almost
any
like
important
someone there who
paperwork.
worked with them.
The speaker might handle some of that stuff.
Okay, we'll go to the town hall.
The most useless thing. I love it. We're gonna head to the offices.
The town hall.
Yeah.
Away.
The town hall. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
All right.
Is this kind of like walking into a government building in real life, but like way
Hey.
smaller?
Tell me
Yeah.
there's no queues.
And
Oh,
And it's
God.
like fantasy.
no cues.
Okay, so it's like
So there's not ropes tied to posts leading you around in a maze around the entire office.
Nah,
No.
this
So
town's
have you
not
ever-
built for that.
Yeah.
have you ever been to like one of the colonial tours where they show you like what their storehouses and town halls look like?
Yeah.
Is it like one of
Yeah.
those?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a small building with like a desk in the front, and then a couple more rooms where people are like writing letters and reading letters and making decisions.
So it's essentially a big barn with a couple of rooms that's a little nicer than.
It's a fancy house that's got that's got a nice entry landing, and then it goes upstairs.
Perfect. It's one of the few two-story buildings in the place. It's very much
It's one of the few
Well, we-
because that way you can see it from anywhere.
exactly. Where's the receptionist?
Sitting at a desk about 5 feet when you walk in.
What am I looking at here?
Looking at a small human male. What can I
Just
do
a
for
human
you?
fella.
Just a human fella.
Hello. We've been informed that there are kobolds in the mines, and we have some questions and need some information because we're a group of adventurers looking to take the job.
All right. He pulls out a book. There we go. Speakers. Looks like we're offering $50 to any adventurers looking to help us out with this. 50 gold.
Fantastic. Does anyone actually own the mines, or are they community property?
He flips through more books. Community property maintained by the speaker.
Fantastic. And are people? How is it? Who is it? Or it's organized under the speaker, correct?
Yeah.
So he would have all the information we need. Fantastic. And what time could we speak to the speaker? I assume he's a little bit busy right now. Is there some we could go to speak with him to get some information?
I know he's dealing with a whole bunch of miners up in his office at the moment due to it being closed. He pulls out a small rock and just knocks on it. Okay. Speaker Mashu, looks like we got some adventures to handle that mine issue. You hear a gruff voice come through the sound. Send him on up.
He knocked on the rock to dial
Yes.
It's a sending stone. It only works two ways.
it.
It's a walkie-talkie.
It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't have. It's not as advanced. as an
Knocking
actual
on it.
telephone.
Funny.
Well, let's head up. We're gonna see a whole bunch of probably angry dwarven miners, right, Helly?
Dwarven, human. They don't discriminate in these mines.
Yeah, just a bunch of
Just a bunch
Rough,
of gruffy,
kinda-
angry, and somewhat injured individuals.
and
How
all
many
them
of
are,
them
like,
did
in
we
ratty- in, like,
heal?
beat up work clothes.
Kelly, how many of them
That's
did
true.
we
How
help
many of
heal
them
the
are
other
ones that we
day?
helped with?
You just definitely see like 3 or 4 familiar faces.
Fantastic. Are they yelling at over each other when we walk in? Like, how heated is this? Has he like calmed it down yet by telling us there's adventures, or like where are we at in this conversation?
Can I like make a comment to one of the ones I recognize? Like, it's good to see you on your feet.
Hey, he gives you a good pat on the shoulder. I appreciate your help there. Hey, the group there's still a little bit angry, but they're not yelling. They're like, okay, what's going on here? This is my
They're not
fucking
at the
job.
point of yelling yet.
Like, what's going on with my fucking job? I got food I need to buy and families to feed.
I'm gonna walk up to the speaker's desk, and is he standing behind it? Say, like, set me some scene here.
Hey, man, this is a half-orc gentleman. He is standing up, hands clasped on his desk, like, calm down. We're gonna try getting this sorted out as quickly as we can.
I'm gonna walk. I assume they all part as we walk in, and I'm just gonna walk up to his desk and be like, Mr. Speaker, we would like to assist you with your kobold problem, but we have some questions before we do. Mostly so that
How
we
many
can better help
kobolds?
you with
Are there
your
enough to
kobold
form an
problem.
army?
This organ's just going to look at Nessa like, why? And just stutters for a second, and then just looks at Celeste. What do you need?
Ignore her. Ignore her.
How many kobolds? Some information about the layout of the mine. We would appreciate any information about if they have a leader, that sort of thing. Anything that the miners who were attacked may know. Which, coincidentally, she turns to the rest of the room, all of you would be perfectly capable of providing. And I'm glad that we were able to keep some of you safe.
Well, he pulls out a drawer, starts digging around on this. Well, we don't know how many are in there, because little gremlins are bouncing off walls. It's hard to keep track of them all. I think no more than a dozen.
More than a dozen.
They got... Some of them
Small
seem to
army.
report to one of them. Kobolds don't make any sense with their words half the time. But here we go. Here's a map of it.
Kobolds speak?
He pulls out a map that shows the 3 different floor plans of the mines. He goes about and draws. All right, so you walk in here, then from here, this bucket can take you down to the 2nd floor, and then this alleyway takes you down to the 3rd floor.
And these are the known branches that we could walk through, correct?
Yeah. Hey,
And
careful
this
of that hole in
circle
the middle.
This is some sort of volcanic shaft, correct?
No, that's a naturally occurring hole. We don't know how deep it is. We haven't heard any rocks that we've kicked down there.
Certainly a volcanic tube, then. That's a lava tube. You do not want to fall in there because the bottom may not be solid rock anymore.
Hey, we've kicked some rocks down there. We've yet to hear anything come back up from it. We've tossed down a torch. It gets swallowed by the darkness.
I'm going to do some calculations in my head.
It's about 1,000 feet per second.
Yeah, and if...
How many seconds does it take for a torch to disappear?
It takes at least... Yeah, it takes at least 85 meters to not be able to hear the bottom at about this size, and it would take another, like, 200 meters for you not to be able to see the light. Or it switches back at some point, which means it switches back further than 85 meters for the sound to come back up to you.
All we know is that the sumbitch is deep as hell. Don't fall in.
It's certainly more than 600 feet deep, if not much
Is-
deeper, and that would make sense for a lava tube.
Have
That's
we
very
ever
slow lava.
gotten that deep into the earth?
600 feet, yes. There's quite a few lava tubes that we've mined that are much deeper than that. The deepest hole in the world is 7 miles deep.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there was like that big race, kind of similar to the one to the sky, but most countries gave up except like one.
So, and with how lava tubes are formed, the walls can definitely form in a way that catches sound pretty well. So it's either way. This is very easily a very deep lava tube, which would make sense why there's so many gems around it, because that's where gemstones tend to form.
Even if it's not connected to the volcano anymore.
Well, it's probably long dead geological activity. Fantastic. So, an endlessly deep pit, 3 floors of a gem mine, and roughly 12, I'm going to round up to 20 kobolds, and they're all fighting in tight spaces. You might be well suited for this.
How tight space are we talking?
Oh, good question.
Uh,
Would this one be able to fit
Big
in
little
the mine?
TNT won't
I
fit.
point to Talia.
he walks out from around a desk and walks some circles around Talia. You might have to walk sideways through some of the tunnels, but you should be fine in the open areas.
I can do that.
So a little bit tight.
Just be careful around the scaffoldings on floor 1 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I can do
We'll
that.
need to make sure not to burn those out.
Celeste.
Burn them, and with how broad that one is, they may have to be teetering on the edge there.
Thalia's gonna turn to the Whisper because, like, because of his title, she's got like a feeling that he just knows information
You mean the speaker?
about a lot of, or this, whatever. The speaker knows information about like a lot of different things. She could be reading it wrong, but like, that's kind of the vibe she's getting. Is there any magic item or spell or anything that you know of that could help shrink my horns? I haven't had a shedding period since this winter started, and they continue to grow.
I'm not
I am.
much of a magic man here, but I can try reaching out to some contacts of mine to see if any of them know any magics to try to shrink you down here.
I would be very grateful if you would. We have managed to go underground quite often, and as you can see, I am not designed for subterranean life.
Hey, well, I'll go about and reach out to my contacts. We can either see what we can do about trying to shrink them, or see if we can force a shed.
Kelly, question.
Yeah.
I am not skilled in necromancy, but would I know that necrotic damage might do the trick?
You could roll Arcana, but you'd roll with disadvantage because you're still exhausted.
Would necrotic damage do it? And would it actually injure me?
Well, it would technically injure you, but the way necrotic damage is it dries things out, so it may force your horns to shed. I'm just not sure. I obviously rolled an 11, so I don't know.
Well, like, at this point, it's me asking Helly if this would work, like, and how damaged would my character have to get to that point? Because we are now talking, technically, a permanent injury.
So, if done with a lot of precision, it could be targeted to just the antlers. It would still hurt as you feel the energy get sucked from them, but it could be enough to cause the essentially roots that would hold it in place to give and force a normalized, like, shedding hurt. So,
that's interesting.
would it be possible? Yes. Would it be difficult? Also, yes.
That's basically what like Celeste's head is. Possible, maybe. Difficult, incredibly.
So-
Do I have the
Painful?
skill set? Not that I know of.
Painful? Probably.
Almost.
So,
certain.
talking in like game mechanic sense, you'd have to roll really, really high. Whoever's doing the surgery would have to roll really, really high on probably Arcana or Medicine.
I would probably
And-
make an Arcana.
And possibly multiple checks, at very least 2.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I've already got the AC in mind. It would be 2 Arcana checks, and it would also depend on what type of. You'd also need to use a targeted necromancy spell.
Yeah, something more targeted than what I have.
and then would I have to roll probably either
Probably Constitution.
Yeah, you'd have to roll Constitution.
Constitution. And
Which
I
your
I would guess
Your failing Constitution would either result in you passing out, or if you were to not fail, that you would lose your antlers. The trauma would cease them to regrow.
oof.
Then you'd probably need high tier healing magic like regeneration to heal them properly.
Yes. They would be magically
dangerous.
damaged.
Dangerous, small line of thought that I had and am now fully discounting.
Okay. I'm glad that we went through like the mechanics of that, because like that allows me to actually conceptualize how dangerous we're talking, because I think it would actively kill
Be
Thalia
easier
to
to
lose
just-
her antlers.
Yeah,
So it would be better to just find someone to shrink you.
Yeah. We may have to table that a bit, although we did encounter those Durgar that could make themselves bigger. I wonder if they could have made themselves smaller too.
Do you
Pretty sure
think
we
it's
can't
made
ask
of
a Duragar for help.
I do not think we're going to get help from a Durgar, but I do think that enlarged reduced magic is something that I've heard of before, so we could probably find either
Do
a
you
spell
think-
or something for that.
Do you think if I made a cloak of a Durgar pelt, it would be it would hold enough of their magic to shrink and grow?
What do the dwarves in the room think of this conversation, Hilly?
You're definitely getting some glances and some step backs.
I look over at Talia and say, Talia, inside thoughts.
The desire to like stare directly at some of the dwarves and wrap my arms around Celesta like as a claim.
When
You know what? Actually, let me do a quick roll. High or low? High or low? High or low, real quick.
Snap.
Who are you
you
asking
see-
for high or low, Daily? Me or
Anyone.
For what?
Wow. But
It's
Celeste,
fine. That's not gonna do it.
when you like say that, like you like physically see the demeanor in Thalia. She was like still in the brain of you and her talking, so she didn't even realize that she was speaking this out loud. And instantly, like the confident woman that you have like just barely met shrank
God.
back to the Thalia
God.
you
Okay,
First
am I wrong in thinking that Talia is a bit autism coded?
She's giving me vibes. moving on. Tangents. We need to get off these tangents.
She's more ADHD coded because this is how I was when I was young.
Ah.
With the talk of shrinking magic, the orc pipes up. I might only be a temporary thing, but I might be able to get a potion that might be able to shrink you down at least for an hour, maybe 2.
That could help if we get into a tight spot. Do you happen to have
Honestly-
any spell scrolls of enlarge reduce? Because if I could get a spell scroll of that, I could inscribe it into my spell book and then be able to do it more often. Maybe possibly as a reward for dealing with the goblins.
I'll reach out to some of the other towns and see if we can get one brought here.
Honestly, I'd be. And Thalia kind of turns to the goblin,
Orc, half orc.
Or
half orc, who mentioned the point. I would be willing to buy quite a few potions like that if you know somebody who sells them.
Well,
And she's not she's not looking at him anymore. Like she's not holding eye contact or anything.
well, right now, I don't even know if it's something they could make, but there's a handful of apothecaries in the 10 towns, and I've got a number of enemies, and I got a number of friends, and we'll see if that's something they can do, and if it is, we'll see if we can get you set up with a supply and all that.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Like I said, I'll be willing to pay. I do not have autism.
At that, Celeste goes, fantastic. That'll solve our problem in the short term and possibly the long term. And as for this, as she looks at the map a little bit more closely, seems like we don't have a lot of options, but we have to properly clear the entire place. I don't think we should split our forces at any point. We need to be able to gather them if possible. What happened? Have you tried to go back into the mine, and how did they react if you did?
Trying to get into there's been a little bit of a problem just with the kobolds trying to go about and cause issues here. Just mostly getting in the way of things, stealing tools, and trying to swing in kneecaps.
Alright, so they don't gather around you in force unless you show force.
Yeah.
And I assume that is there any other way out of the mine other than, well, you know, straight down? That you know of?
Only way we know is through that entrance and down the bucket ladder and through that alleyway.
Did the kobolds come from outside the mine or inside the mine?
They came from outside the mine. They scurried in a few days ago and have been amassing.
so the call's not coming from inside the house. Good.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
was concerned that they may have climbed up the shaft and then we'd have bigger problems, but I mean, we could effectively clear it. We probably want to move clockwise around. We need somebody to watch sections that we've already cleared. We don't want to have to double back too much. We don't know much about the land. We don't have anyone who's adept at stealth of any kind to give us more information about the kobolds, do we?
What do I recall from my time with Gran?
Oh no.
What am I rolling, Illy? What am I rolling?
I mean, history again, as you're trying to remember things. Nothing.
Fuck, I know nothing!
One of the, human miners says, one of our miners went disappearing a few days before the kobolds showed up. And Not sure if they're trying to do something with that hole down there or what, but they're making us worry that they're trying to summon some form of monster from down there.
Alright, so a man started disappearing and may have been summoning something from the hole. And you do you know where he is now?
Still has yet to be found.
Likely in the mine, continuing his job. I don't know if the kobolds are on his side or not, though. If you feed a kobold a cookie,
He gives you just a very short, weird expression. You feed a kobold a cookie. Just, okay.
someone doing rituals in a gem mine. Nessa, what do you think of this? Do you think this could possibly be the individuals we've been looking for as well?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm literally just looking through my notes, guys, because thinking about the guy disappearing
The miner that
down
disappeared.
deep into mine.
What was he human? Was he dwarvish? Was he?
He was human.
Okay. Not as
Just because
likely
he-
connected to that.
I mean, it was Drow and Duragar that we're searching out, but there could be other races involved.
We'll keep an eye out for him in the mines, and if he gives us trouble, we'll take care of him too, I suppose. So that does make things a little more interesting, as this individual who's good at disappearing and is still in a mine full of kobolds is a bit of a wild card. If alive.
For all we know, he could have fallen down that pit.
Let's hope that that's
Has
the
this
case.
particular colleague, coworker of yours, ever made mention or mutterings of eternal night, getting rid of the sun?
You get a confused look from this guy. No.
Has he
Okay.
ever mentioned... One sec, I'm checking my notes now. 'Cause I wrote it down, I know it's here. I'm looking for the names. I have it here. Just gotta find it, I'm sorry.
It's just been Jeffrey who's gone missing. Nobody's seen him in like a week.
Jeffrey. I don't know why I said that so deviously. I actually have no idea what the fuck Jerry could be.
Did he happen to mention anything about Chandelier?
No.
And that's not what you guys mind down there.
We get rubies, topaz. No chandelier here.
Okay.
Also, got a handful of other minerals in there, like your irons and your golds and whatnot. But
Any mention of, just off the top of my head, Ariel? I'm just trying to get a read on how completely little they know about this man.
you are just getting more and more confused looks from everybody.
The back of my
How
pen
well
is
did
now
you
pressed
know,
firmly into my
Jeffrey?
temple. I assume you didn't know him long, at the very least.
I mean,
Is he new to town?
he's been in the mines for like a year and a half.
And you don't know him that well? Huh.
I
Did
never.
he keep himself alone?
Bold of you saying I didn't know the man. I'm just saying he never spoke of the things you're asking about.
Fantastic. What made you think that he was summoning some sort of monster?
I never said he was. I said I think these kobolds are.
See, I believe there's been a severe misunderstanding here through the flow of conversation, and my apologies. The kobolds are trying to summon a monster. I'm going to just assume some kind of dragon. We have everything.
Dragging
we
can help
need
us
now.
defeat the cult.
No, it would not. Dragons don't often help people with anything. If anything, they cause nothing but pain and suffering and sorrow, and many problems.
Didn't you tell us a story about meeting a dragon that tried to eat you?
I don't think
It
it tried
didn't
to eat
try
us.
to
I
eat
think we disturbed its sleep, and it was very, very annoyed that we tried to disturb it. I don't know.
And how did that go for you? I mean, you're
Fire
still
breathing,
alive. but-
and we fell from the top of a tower. That was fun.
Oh, fantastic. And that's.
I figured you had told that story already. I think I remember you telling that
Oh.
story.
I told that story.
All right,
At least the dragon was.
so
Searching out a cult that plans to destroy the sun.
we are looking to get involved in this tomorrow to give us some time to possibly look into gathering some potions and other resources we may need for this task. Would we be able to have someone as a guide who stays well behind us, but can direct us a little bit through the caverns?
I'd probably get one of the more experienced miners to at least follow behind and yell saying left or right.
I mean, quite honestly, he could stand next to me. I don't often like to be near the fighting. And if fighting does come to him, at the very least he'll be close enough that I can keep him safe-ish.
We'll see if we get any volunteers by tomorrow.
Fantastic.
And I'll see if I can get an express order on any shrinking potions for you there.
Thank you.
Well, if we wait till tomorrow, our friend Sebastian should be up to full fighting order by then. At the very least, he'll be doing better than he was yesterday. Alright, we'll be at the inn, developing a strategy. If I may take this map with us, we'll return it later.
All right. Goes back to his desk and starts trying to just calm down the miners again.
Gentlemen, please. We are going to handle this, so perhaps take this as a fantastic time to take another day off. To rest, recuperate, heal from your wounds, and then tomorrow, after we are completed our tasks, you will be all the more ready to dig in deep with your pickaxes and mine the valuable ores you so seek. And maybe some of that ore will have been knocked loose in the fight. And I'm going to put a big smile on my face.
Roll me persuasion.
I'm not very good at those.
You still have disadvantage because of your exhaustion.
I want to
would need
assist
assistance.
and get rid of the disadvantage. I'm just gonna wrap my arm around Celeste and just smile real big. That is how I'm supposed to figure.
Does that give me advantage or disadvantage, or does it clear my disadvantage, or no?
It will clear it,
You
and
know
you
if
did
I'm
get
gonna
the
roll
nat
another
20.
Okay.
The people do seem to calm down a bit with your very artificial smile.
My smile's not artificial. I just look like a porcelain
No, we're
doll.
talking
It's not
about-
my fault.
We're talking about Celeste. We're not talking about Celeste. We're talking about Nessa. She just put a big old bright grin on her face. And just nodding.
All right, so y'all heading back to the inn?
Are all the miners leaving too? Because I'm
Most of them
basically
are
trying
leaving.
to convince them. Yeah, I'm trying to convince all of them to just go home, take a day off, rest a little bit. We'll get them their mind back. Everyone just needs to calm down and leave the speaker alone today.
Some of them have
Totally
other
good job.
concerns.
All
But most of them are. I would say if there was about 15 of them in there, there's 2 left.
Fantastic. That's good enough for me. I'll just assume they want to talk about their pension or their
Something else.
insurance. Yeah, something else.
Hazard pay.
Hazard pay. They're getting hazard pay. Reparations for the damage caused on public property. Yeah, we all make it back to the end. How's Sebastian looking?
He still
How's
just got
Mark
that.
there?
Still got that stare.
Got it.
Everything sounds like it's coming through a large pair of earmuffs.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to be alright for a while, and I need a nap.
Not gonna go over your map in more detail.
I am going to take a nap first.
Nessa will review the map, even though Nessa's probably not going to be able to figure out anything new from the map that we haven't already figured out.
Yeah, Thalia will attempt to help her. Has no experience reading maps of mine shafts.
It's like looking through this, and I'm like, well, this definitely does not look like a dwarven mine.
That being said, she does have a good memory for like landmarks. Would that be any of help to her?
In a mine, probably. Once we get in there, it'll especially help.
I was gonna say a sense of direction, but then I had to think about it. Her sense of direction would be based off of things that are natural in like nature and wouldn't be found underground. So
One thing that I did
I don't know,
forget to
would
say
moss
that you.
still grow on the north side?
that's false at Daily. That's
Oh.
just a myth.
One thing I did forget to say that you would have been informed of is that the mine has no light sources.
Okay.
We have light sources.
And we can make more.
Yep.
We have
I-
Thalia's antler that is still lit.
Just letting you know that hey, landmarks are also only good if you can see them.
Oh, that being said, I still need to find you another gem too. Maybe I can find one in the mine.
If we can get
For the
some
other
ruby
antler.
dust, we should be able to. If someone could acquire some ruby dust, we could do continual flames. Wait, I'm taking a nap. What am I talking about?
Yeah, you're sleeping.
Because yeah,
You're
sleeping.
muttering in your sleep in response to what we're talking about.
No, I'm not.
Well, Thalia's more kind of just like thinking this, like remembering that that's
On the list.
like what was on the list on her personal like shopping list because she wanted she didn't like that she was unbalanced. She has like she's unbalanced, even though like she's not. Flames don't weigh anything.
It would be weird if Flame played things. Why are you
If
rolling a
anything, they weigh
D3?
less than air. Hallie just rolled a D3.
I did, because I had to figure out how these potions are going to work.
Okay.
So I had one
you
of
have
3
to-
choices.
are you-
3D possible?
Is this a potion you're making up, or
Probably, because I don't think it exists.
No, there should be a potion of shrinking. Potion of diminution.
Yeah.
Diminution.
Well, I was also thinking with this being a rush order, there's a few outcomes that could happen with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I was checking to see what outcome it could be. But I now have my answer. So
Which is...
You'll figure it out when and if thou drinks one of these potions.
Yep. Okay. After my nap, I will get up and copy the map into my book.
Well, how long of a nap are you taking?
How long of a nap do I need to take for me to not be exhausted?
It needs to be a long rest.
Okay. Maybe not a full nap then.
That's what I'm saying. You're better. You could take a power nap just to take a power nap because you are exhausted.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a power nap to try and power through the day. After about 90 minutes, I get back up and I kind of go over. All right, ladies, figured anything out?
This is not a dwarven mine.
Fantastic. Does that help us?
Maybe.
Depending on how well I can see, I have a good memory for landmarks, so I can fill in the map once we get there. Maybe. But a map like this doesn't tell me anything. I don't have much experience in mines. I think I've been in mines more with you people than I ever have been in my life.
Yeah, adventuring does.
There, you
involve
are
a
not
lot of
an
delving
underground
into
trigger.
tight, dark spaces, doesn't
Derek. Derek.
it? Freezing, right? And Celesta's gonna kind of look over the map and go, all right. So, everyone look at the map. So we have these
Yeah.
two chambers on the first floor. One with what appears to be water in it. Those would probably be the first two chambers we'd want to clear, but we'd want to make sure that we could tell if someone was coming from deeper in the mine. So we may want to have a lookout further out. It looks like there's some sort
We're
of
also-
edge for one of the entrances into one of the larger rooms of level 1. So we may want to put them up there where the kobolds have a harder time getting to them.
If we're gonna have a lookout, we still need to be able to make sure all of us have enough light.
Well, if I could get about 50 gold's worth of ruby dust, I could cast Continual Flame again.
Yep.
Which, I mean, if we have the funds, we might be able to procure it here in town, considering there's a gem mine that just recently was closed.
The barkeep says you could also get a torch.
Yes, we
Yeah,
could
the torch is
purchase
burnt
a number
out.
of
Continual
torches.
flames are infernal.
We could gather some.
Adventure
I was
info.
just thinking. I was just supposing that we could cast. I could cast Continual Flame on Nessa's blade. So then, from here on out, anytime that Nessa needs light, she can draw her sword. But we could also
I-
just enchant it on something else that's easy to pull out, like a glass bead in some kind of necklace or something like that.
I would suggest a necklace over her sword, because if we ever need stealth in the dark,
That's
and a
valid
glowing sword is... Nessa's not very stealthy to begin with. That's not handicap her
Yes,
move.
let's be honest. Alright, so
I've got other
we could-
weapons. I don't have to use just my
Either
sword.
way, I can create another object that we can use to light our path, or as the man has quite eloquently put out, as I look over the bartender, we could just buy some torches, which is the mundane approach, but I'm not above it.
As you look over, the man is just washing and wiping out a pint glass in typical barkeep
And-
fashion.
Wait.
kinda like smiling
Continual
at us.
flame does not burn things, right?
No, it's completely harmless. It just gives off a large amount of light, and then you can put it in a sack or under your clothing, and it'll dim the light.
Nessa's gonna pull out her holy symbol. So you could put continual flame on this, right?
Yes.
I forget. Has Nessa shown her holy symbol to the rest of the party? I don't
Can you
remember.
post
if she
the
ever
image
has.
again so I can see it?
This has
'Cause I
not
know
been
you-
shown to the group. To this group.
Oh wait, this has not been shown to the group. Okay, one second. It's that amulet there. Let me see if I can find that picture bigger. I know I have a bigger version of it somewhere. I just have to remember where.
At the expense of possibly sounding crass, why does your holy symbol have an erection?
Dionysus is the only explanation I can give to you.
I'm gonna blink a couple times. Helly, do I recognize this holy symbol?
Roll religion.
Okay.
It is a phallic-shaped object of ivy and grapevines.
No.
8. I do not recognize the symbol. I'm too exhausted to recognize it. I may know it, but I don't remember it right now. That's for sure.
So the question is again, why is it erect?
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's not technically erect. It's just phallic-shaped.
Talia, please tell me I'm not the only one seeing this.
Here's a bigger version of the image.
I mean, it does look oddly phallic, right?
All I know is it's grapevines and ivy, which are symbols of Dionysus. It was given to me. It was not my choice.
That
Do
is
you
not the image
remember?
that I
Don't
remember,
even
but-
like dick.
Yeah, that is not the image
Yes.
that I remember, but yes.
Yes, but when a
Uh.
dick is such a simple object and most people recognize it, so when you think of orgies,
Yeah.
there's a lot of dick.
I do not want to.
I've never.
What if
been
I
to
want
an
my orgies not to have dick?
I've been to one of those.
They usually call that a carpet cleaning.
How does Talia know this?
Shit, sorry.
Back where I come from, it's called moss cleaning.
I don't know what it's called, but it's fun. Anyway, would you be able to make it glow?
She picked
I'd make
it up.
look like it was on fire.
At one point during, one of the groups that she was escorting through the forest was a bunch of crass men who were making jokes around the campfire, and she heard all about it.
That sounds about right.
That's all she knows. She doesn't actually know what that means. All she knows it has something to do with sex and lesbians.
In the large groups, got it. I think it's called that. Yes, I could make your holy symbol. I could make a part of it glow look like it was on fire. I could light the entire thing on fire. I could cast the light on any part of it.
Make the balls glow.
I was thinking the gem, yeah, light the gem on fire.
Make the gem. You know, I decided to go with specifically this one because it seemed like the less inappropriate one for it.
It does look like the less inappropriate one, so I can forget that.
I-
I can understand that.
Honestly, I could see my grandmother wearing something like that, thinking it was a cross.
Yeah. Thinking it was a holy symbol when really it wasn't really. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
It is. It is. It is the holy
Some would
symbol.
even call it an unholy symbol. Anyways.
Oh, if I remember
Yes,
correctly, I think
could,
it was.
but I
this
don't have the
color.
ruby dust to do so.
And we find some ruby dust.
In this town, possibly. Looks over at the bartender. You
In
wouldn't
the
happen to
mine?
know where we could purchase or acquire some ruby dust. I assume in the mines would be your answer, correct?
Record tells me most of what they pull out there is some opal, yeah, some colored opals, but they might got a handful of rubies and whatnot there.
The miner lied to us.
He did say rubies and sapphires, though maybe he was inflating his own ego.
He could also take a blue opal for a sapphire and a red opal for a ruby. He's a miner. Never said he was smart.
I mean, you would think he would know his job well, but point taken.
Man swings a pick at the ground and looks for shinies. What do you want from the man?
Well, I
Yeah,
swing
very-
a sword at goblins and look for glory.
Yeah?
Don't judge
Yeah.
a person by their occupation.
Sure thing there, princess.
Who the fuck you calling princess?
Nessa, do not fight the man. Do not fight the man.
Celeste has like put her full hand against Nessa's chest, holding her back.
No, Celesta put her hand on Nessa's hand, which was on her sword.
Oh. Fuck you calling him princess?
Nessa, let it go. Let it go. Let
See-
it go.
Seeing you grab for your sword, this man pulls
Breathing.
up a
Calm.
what essentially would be a great axe head on a staff out from underneath the bar.
He pulls out a pole arm.
Yes.
Nessa, darling. Do not fight
Taking
the
deep breath.
innkeeper. He's just doing his job and being a
calm,
little
I'm
spicy about
calm.
it and losing his tip. What he does with his tip is up to him.
Obviously, you two aren't having any. He puts the pole arm back underneath the bar.
We don't need it.
Deep breath from Celesta as you see her her pen twitch in her hand. Now, perhaps we can not with that, and perhaps we not speak of this, and perhaps I don't burn this entire building to the ground.
You adventure types are always the weird ones.
Glares.
Can't have anyone
his
smite.
icicles.
He just
Both
look,
of them. Both of them are.
he just looks over about, I like you, and just goes back to tending bar.
I can't let someone disparage the honor and glory of my girlfriend and myself.
Val kind of just like
pushing him.
side eyes him a little bit. Thanks.
We are not going to burn this building down, no matter how much we want to. I've like pulled Ness aside, and we're just talking. I'm talking very quietly. No matter how much we want to, we're not going to burn this building down. We're not going to kill the man who just insulted us. We're going to be very calm. We are respectable adventurers. Respectable.
Dionysus can punish him with impotency.
Exactly.
Leave it up to my man.
And perhaps there could be some other issues that come up later, but we won't talk about that now. We will simply allow
Reptiles.
we will allow whatever powers and be in the universe to take care of it themselves.
I'm going to send up a silent prayer to Dionysus. That man does not deserve his prayer.
Explode your dick and small your ass. Get Ben fucker penis blast. That's the prayer. That's the curse prayer.
Well,
I am
Yeah,
just
fuck,
imagining
man.
though that when Nessa's glaring at him, it's like a roaring inferno, and when Celeste is glaring at him, it's like like an ice storm. It's like opposite ends of the exact same rage.
and this man is unfazed.
Completely unbothered. He's seen it before. He's not scared.
This man has rebuilt this tavern 4 times.
He just gets the insurance money out of it and builds it again, and it turns out better each time. It looks nicer each time. It's been a few decades since the last time someone burned it down. He's itching for the paper.
He's got adventure insurance.
Yeah, he's got good adventure insurance. That's how you know.
Again, casually just lifting the pole arm from underneath the bar. You want to go? Just like, are we doing this?
He definitely got the death and dismemberment package as well.
See, the thing is if Celesta had not stopped her and calmed her down, she would have taken that fight.
Yep.
And you don't know what this man is capable of.
Nope.
But don't
But
worry,
I was
but don't worry, I know what you're capable of.
Shut up, Helen.
Violence. I am capable of violence.
Incredible violence.
Incredible violence.
Okay, I
Against the
think that we
patriarchy.
all should go up to our rooms and perhaps we can purchase some alcohol to bring with us as I look at him. From the gentleman.
He slides you back over the menu that you've seen before of the different drinks, which is
Does he have any just like straight mead, just like bare bottom mead, or is it all the weird drinks he has?
it's all the weird drinks.
And then I'll look at it.
One thing that you didn't notice the last time is there is just flavored water.
What are the flavors? I imagine it's like ice melon, frostberry, cucumber slices.
It is it's a strawberry drink with a slice of lemon.
I look at it, look at him, and go, what kind of bar doesn't have regular menu? And just slide the menu back and then leave. I am walking away.
Wait! I still have my brandy!
Then we'll drink that.
That shit anyway. I forgot that I still had that brandy in my backpack.
Thalia will order some flavored water.
All right. He gets you a nice tall glass. That'll be a gold. Typically, you want this whenever you're paying a bit too much of whatever they're having. Helps clear the mind.
You know what? Also, I'll also take. Do you have juice?
Yeah, we got some juice.
Can
We got
I
winter
get that?
grape, frozen melon.
Thalia pulls out her empty water flask. Can I get that flavored water in my water flask instead of in a glass? And I'll also take the juice. Don't worry, I'll pay for all of it. It's normal.
All right. He takes the flask from you and fills it up as much as he can with the flavored water, and then brings you back a glass of juice.
All right, how much do I owe you?
Hey, keep the juice. I like you more than the others. Just the gold for the flavored water.
This guy's homophobic!
Now y'all just got in a fight with him. And Thalia just stood there, just watching the chaos
We
unfold.
did not swing first.
Well,
you
and
insulted the
This
town.
man is the one who's through the
You-
Thalia also sat there and made sarcastic comments at you guys too.
Well, also, she did at day one put Daly in the dress, and he found that hilarious.
That's fair. We've lost his
That's also
respect.
fair.
I wore the dress
Yeah.
intentionally. That's why I lost his respect.
Well, no, again, the respect was lost for Daly because she got pranked, and then you started to defend her, so he never directly attacked you.
That's fair.
He just went for Daly.
Thalia flips
fighting
him a
words,
gold.
though. Those fighting words. Call me princess.
Still can't believe we got that.
Smash the guy's nose in when he tried to do that back in the militia.
Well, to be fair, you were also in a
Not worth it,
princess.
Nessa.
You were also in a princess dress.
Not right now.
No, not right now. But you
But
were
previously,
as
yeah.
part of the prank.
Yeah, but no, I love to imagine Nessa's literally saying that out loud, and Celeste's like, "It's not worth it. It's not worth it. We don't need to be fighting these people and getting kicked out of town. It's not worth it. And if we really want to, we can just burn this place down on our way out of town and never come back."
That wouldn't be very righteous. Night-like, though.
Thalia comes into room. Well, he was nice.
Celeste just
The
stopped.
fiery glare is now turned to thought.
I'm starting.
Thalia
the
just smiles
infighting.
at her. Thalia just smiles at her. She's fully aware what she's doing.
You are terrible sometimes, you know that?
Love you too, Celeste.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
So Thalia says, love you
Goes and
too,
checks
and
on
Nessa
Fitz.
possessively wraps her arms around Celeste, continuing the glare.
Thalia just kind of looks at Nessa. It was like,
She's making fun of us. She's just poking fun.
Nessa, I am asexual panromantic. I have no interest in either of you.
Quizzical
Fair
look
point,
from
but
Celeste.
I'm gonna protect my boo.
Alright, that's enough of that, and I'm gonna push myself out of Nessa's arms and like go over and check on Sebastian again.
Still just got that stare because it's only been. It's like 8 o'clock right now. 8 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm just checking him, seeing how.
Actually, no. It's probably closer to 9 o'clock because you took your hour-and-a-half nap.
Yeah, we took an hour-and-a-half nap, and we talked to the guys at like 7 a.m. So like, it's like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. The
Yeah.
sun's starting to come up.
Bro is
Probably
still
too early to
zooted.
drink. We're gonna drink anyway.
What was that?
It's probably too early to drink. We're gonna drink anyway.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Hand me the brandy.
Nessa's gonna pull out the vanity from her backpack.
Also, Val, to let you know, your flavored water removes any dehydration you have and will help you with a hangover the next day.
So how much flavored water do I have now?
I'd say that you've got. Let's see, Canteen probably holds 4 drinks, 4 decent drinks.
Yeah, most canteens would hold the equivalent of like 4 pints.
Can you add it to my bag for me?
I will do that just after the stream, just because I gotta make the
Yeah,
thing.
that's fine. That's fine.
All right. I think
I
that
feel like
am
that was a
exhausted and
smart-
need to sleep. So I will be taking. Either we can take a long rest here, or if there's anything else to do, I'll keep copying the map, and we'll try and figure something out.
It is 11:30. Do we want to take a long rest here?
Well, it's 11:30 in the
We
morning.
went late tonight. No, it is actually
Oh.
currently
Okay, I
11:30.
thought you
Like
meant
we
the-
went late tonight.
Yeah.
So I was saying, do we want to take a long rest here and continue on next week?
Well, we
As
can
long
just
rest doesn't
basically-
necessarily mean sleeping.
Yeah,
we
We
can
can
just,
just
like,
come back.
Hang out and rest.
Yeah,
We
no,
could-
we're just gonna rest and do downtime activities.
until
well,
the next morning.
Yeah, until the next day or something while Celeste sleeps.
Well, she can do other things that are restful until it's time to actually sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna end it for us here today, and we will be back hopefully next week with more of this. I look forward to seeing you all then. Say goodbye, everybody.
Go watch the video on the VOD channel.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Actually, that is the
damn,
question. Will
it
the
says
VOD
YouTube.
have a? Will the YouTube have the unbroken or?
All right, so
It should be unbroken on YouTube.
oh yeah, because I'm not pulling the clips from YouTube. These are direct recordings.
Okay.
Recording's been going for 2.5 hours. So, bye everybody.
Bye. Everybody.
Bye. I like to watch
Bye.
them.